So, if you're watching this video, there's probably a 69% chance that you've either played Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo or Mega Turrican on the Genesis, or maybe even Super Turrican on the Super Nintendo, or of course, the classic Symphony of the Night, one of the all time greatest. If you didn't enjoy either one of these games, well, then just stop watching this video because you're most likely a giant piece of. So, anyways, you all know Super Metroid, one of the best video games of all time. Unfortunately, my battery backup died and I was beyond crushed when I turned on my Super Nintendo a few days ago to capture gameplay footage for this video, only to see my love of Super Metroid wiped away from memory. Whatever though, I've beaten this game 3 times and I always love coming back to it. Instead of showing you good footage, I gotta show you the classic intro that you've probably seen 50,000 times on YouTube because, I'm sorry, I don't have time to play this game for 5 hours to get into the meat and potatoes of Super Metroid to show you for this video. But growing up, I never owned a Super Nintendo, so when I first played Super Metroid, I was in my mid 20s when I started collecting video games. Even though the 7th generation, aka the Xbox 360 and PS3, was coming to an end, this game blew my mind when I first played it and has since become one of my all time favorites. Which, when you think about it, it's kind of rare when you play a game that's over 20 years old and it becomes one of your favorites. As you can tell from my previous videos, I'm clearly a Sega fanboy, which makes me bummed out that we never got a Super Metroid type of game on the Sega Genesis. Well, I guess we finally did. Sega fanboys, rejoice. Life on Mars is here. Although it's no Super Metroid, it's pretty damn close. But like I said before, it's more of a mix of Mega Turrican and Super Metroid. Don't get me wrong, Super Metroid takes a massive dump on this game, but it's pretty cool to play a game like this in the 2023. According to Steam, this is a remake of the 8-bit MXX2 game, Metroidvania, blah blah blah, with RPG elements. You get to explore, investigate, find improvements for your suit, find weapons, upgrade your weapons in workshops, fight incredible mutants, blah blah blah. You know the story. So, to compare this game to Super Metroid, it's actually very short. I believe Life on Mars takes about 4 hours to beat, whereas Super Metroid takes about 9, depending on if it's your first time playing. I think it took me 16 hours to beat Super Metroid the first time I played it. I don't know. Maybe because I was just soaking everything in. I mean, I would check, but my battery backup died. Anyways, Life on Mars is an amazing game. The only minor complaint I have is that it's relatively too short, and sometimes the camera gets a little wonky, and you kind of get motion sick, but I actually got pretty used to it pretty quickly, and it never really affected the fun factor of the game. But I really wish this came out when I was a kid in the mid 90s. It would have been so cool, and it would have made for some cool conversations in the the school bus, the classroom, and it would have given you some good ammo against those Nintendo fanboys back in the day. But oh yeah, I forgot to mention, if you look on the bottom left, or I guess I should say the left screen, you can see all the upgrades, your ammunition, you have a flamethrower, grenade launcher, a rifle, your shield, your energy level, all that stuff, pretty much what you see in Super Metroid. So getting back to what I was saying earlier before, this game is kind of similar to Mega Turrican. Maybe you might not agree with me, but I kind of got that feel when I was playing the game. It was, like I said, it was more of a mixture of Super Metroid versus Mega Turrican. I'm kind of leaning towards more Mega Turrican because it kind of focuses on upgrading your weapons. Well, I guess Super Metroid's like that too, but like I said, I got more of a Mega Turrican feeling for it, and I'll show you some gameplay footage and comparing it to what you just saw for Life on Mars. I guess you can kind of, I'm hoping you can kind of agree that it's kind of like Mega Turrican. So take a look.
Lay the deal.
Overall, I had a blast playing this. If you're looking for a classic 16-bit Super Metroid ripoff, this is your answer. So, I don't know what the status of the developers are. Hopefully, they make a sequel. When I say they, I mean whoever made this. I'm kind of lazy to look it up and tell you who it is, but hey, I'm just a simple man who enjoys video games. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it as always. Like I said, this game is only about 4 hours long. So if you got kids and you don't have time to play, like, an RPG that's 50 hours long, because I don't have time for that unless it's like a Zelda game where I'm actually going to invest time into it. But like one of the things I loved about this game was that it was only 4 hours long, even though that's a huge con. I kind of wish it was like 20 hours, but it's kind of cool to pop in a fresh game and play it. It's like, oh, it's only 4 or 5 hours long. It was a great time. You can up the difficulty because there's 3 levels of difficulty, normal, hard, and whatever. Probably insanely hard, whatever it's called. But like I said, pick this up, guys. You won't be disappointed. It comes in a physical copy. You can look it up on Amazon or Google it. It's going to look good on your shelf. As always, I'll see you next time, guys.